Warning, this video contains a very subjective opinion. If you're the kind of person who gets triggered easily because of being, challenged because someone might disagree with you, well, this is for you! Also, I'm busy with other videos, projects, juggling my jobs, and dealing with my Switch being on fire to really care to not do a lot of editing at this video. So considering that a few of my last videos have a connection to this community that I'm talking about, the animation Storytime community, and since I still got quite a bit of this drawing footage of Shovel Knight, I think, I don't know, I can't read my mind when I'm editing. I think I should give my actual thoughts on the animation Storytime community.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
Because, hey, apparently I'm a white knight for the community, despite the fact that one of those videos was put up on my channel was actually defending one of the critics of said community, and criticizing the member of that community, even though he's a small fry, but whatever, I'm rambling already. So, what are my thoughts on this community?
You are all weirdos!
Well, first, I'm not a huge fan of calling it a community. Then again, I've kind of taken that note from the user by the name of Harmful Opinions, as I find a bit of an issue with community as a whole. I mean, let me put this up to another community, the Let's Player community, where you've got players covering the same game. That actually happened recently with the Telltale Walking final season. But this is something that affects a lot of communities, and with the animation community. But to me, that's a real paper-thin criticism. And most of the time when people bring up this complaint, they often bring up Jane Animation's random thoughts and how the odd one out copied her and how others copied them and blah 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 blah.
Okay, they're nuts.
Look, unless the animators are copying everything word from each other, it's just a topic that they're using, that people like to use. It's not really an issue, especially when it's one instance. Besides, like I said, even if it was an issue, people make videos on similar topics all the time. I've done it myself, and people will do it to the day this website dies, especially if it's a topic that has been shown to get views on it. Now, if they have the same points, don't bring anything new to the table, or they don't have an original opinion, then fine, I'll agree that it can be a legit criticism. I've made that criticism myself, but it certainly doesn't apply to the whole community. I mean, so long as they're not milking a topic, and I don't really see an issue on that. However, that doesn't mean I can't see issues with this, because I've seen people milk topics. Take for example of Andre Terbea?
Did you understand what I said before? Not really.
Who cares, I can't pronounce names to save my life. Let's see, he's made about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos that are focused on the Paul brothers.
Nobody said they'd be mad!
And 3 of those are about the boxing fight, or mentioned in some capacity, at least at the time of me scripting this. I understand that they're the bread and butter of his channel, but seriously, if you rely on doing nothing but drama animation videos, you're gonna get burned out pretty quick. And you'll get sick of the topics, and so will your audience. Because unfortunately, the audience won't really care for your other content. Heck, just look at the views on his last 4 videos. His review on the tablet and some sort of Braveheart reference don't even reach half of his sub count, let alone come close to the videos talking about the drama. That isn't to dismiss his videos aren't entertaining, but it's just a little warning, as we've seen this before with other people and their content. An example will be Kavos from the commentary community. Now, there's one thing that I really don't like, and that's how everything is white.
That's racist!
No, not like that. What I mean is there's a blend of characters who all have the same white avatar. Like, going with the basic character designs, I'll admit there are differences between the characters, like Jaden's black hair, Tim Tom's green shirt, the odd one out being completely naked.
Oh my.
I'm just saying, as a matter of preference in my opinion, that I'm not a fan of the extremely simplistic designs. And to be completely fair, I know why they do it. It's because animating them is a lot easier. It's also fair to say that, 1, this doesn't apply to the whole community since you've got people like Cats who, for some unknown reason, to subscribe to my channel. Wait, what?
It just raises too many questions.
Who take on a more stylized design with their avatar, and I'm sure there are a ton of others who fall into that camp. I don't know, I guess after watching a ton of different animators, the whole black and white simplistic design kind of fades for me. And coming from a guy who constantly reads manga on a daily basis, that will tell you something.
Stop it. Get some help.
Still, like I said, I don't feel like the criticism as a whole is completely valid due to the outliers and that the creators themselves do incorporate colors in various ways, like it actually being on their characters or them being the focus on the background. That said, even that will eventually become a bit tiresome. But you can say that for any sort of content. What I will say, it's a really shame since there's a lot more potential that the community can have. I understand Storytime often refers to talking about personal events and giving a bit of a spin to it, with hyperbole, but if topics already have some hyperbole in them, you might as well go to infinity and beyond.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
What I mean is, don't just stay focused on the realities. I understand it's done because 1, it's a great way to have your audience relate to your video, and 2, hey, it's easier to draw something that's already a basis in reality because you can picture in your head and because it's a memory. However, as artists, as creators, you have the power. You have the greatest power in the world to create entire universes out of anything. You've got the reach, you've got the popularity, and you've got the talent to make anything. I'm not saying animate JoJo Part 5, that's ridiculous and shouldn't be expected of a creator on YouTube, even if they have teams behind them. What I'm saying is try to experiment more with new projects. Again, this is completely subjective, and if I even had a quarter of their sub count and support, I'd be pushing to make new projects, not just solely rely on, the stories of my own life, which I will admit can be entertaining in some light, but that's not here or there. And that isn't to say that these guys don't utilize what they can do. You've got people like Jane Animations, Domix, and the odd one else who have extended and gotten teams to help them to make more content, which is actually applaudable, even if there are issues with continuity. Thing is, I'd like to see something more than just having a slice of life being used as the basis of a video. We're talking about animation, and I completely understand it's incredibly easy to make the content that allows you to relate to your audience and connect with them, and I can't really bash that since it's something that not only have I myself had for about 30k people, and yes, I'm working on something like that, but the way I see it, the community, they have a lot of potential. After all, it's animation. It's stuff that you can basically create a story and create new worlds. That isn't to say they don't have to do that. I don't have the power to make them do that. Yet. But what I can say is I think that a lot of criticism that community faces, especially in regards as to how it's delivered, is a bit overblown. A prime example is Speechy, and oh no, here come all the commenters saying I'm a white knight, even though I've honestly only never watched a video from Speechy my entire life, and I've actually criticized people who have had similar mindsets and practices that Speechy has had.
Each history's greatest monster!
To give credit to where it's due, and I think it's a video that deserves a bit more attention, is from a user by the name of Pufferfish. Yeah, that seems about right. He actually talked about Speechy and the criticism that she received, and how a lot of it actually parrots what Daft Peanut said, but that criticism somewhat gets invalidated due to some rather... Well, I can't really say it since it's me trying to summarize a 16-minute video with any level of comprehension I can't really do. So I say, go watch that video after you're done with this one. I need the time retention. Although since I brought up Daft Peanut in lieu of Speechy, I might as well point out something that really bugged me about his review of her. Yeah, one-shot commentary in a rant and draw video. Yay, Inception joke.
At people who say I can't animate, you're right to be honest. In her tweet, she's using self-deprecation humor, because self-deprecation humor is a great way to acknowledge criticism while avoiding the need to improve yourself. I would have just moved on and said this was terrible, but if you look in the tweet's comments, someone put, "Still better than Daft Peanut." Alright then, just show up this bozo, a phrase that people in the 21st century still use. I'm gonna fix this animation. So what I did first was draw the first picture, and then draw the last picture. And then I drew a lot of frames to make it look smooth. Alright, so here's a comparison. Ba-ba-boom, look, mine's better. Alright, that's fantastic. Oh look, for overall animation quality, she gets a 4.5 out of 10.
Daft, in my opinion, your version is worse. Why? Because it's way too stiff. Say what you will about Speechy's animation, but not only does Speechy's actually have a bit more fluidity, it seems a lot more natural. Especially with the arm being, especially since the arm doesn't look like it's going up like a sail. Now you could say I'm being subjective in this, and you are right. However, by that same token, you exact same thing about Daft Peanut's critique in the clip. And hey, I explained why I think Speechy's looks better. Now that we've got that tangent over, let's talk a little bit more about the criticism. Basically, people not apparently taking criticism in this community. Again, I had to refer to Pufferfish's video because sometimes people don't actually give criticism to some people. Heck, looking at the travesty of the Wolfie True drama, a lot of the criticism was mostly tin-filled fedora for conspiracy theories and saying that her art wasn't good. The latter being a subjective claim and most of the time boiled down to, "It's anime weeb stuff," which isn't a critique of her art, it's just you putting your stinky onion on my table. To be fair, the 3 people that I covered in my 2 videos have either taken down their videos or pirated them. 2 out of 3, Soccer Turtles and Papatimi, have expressed either privately to me or publicly respectively saying that they aren't too proud of the videos they put out. I'm not sure if the third guy, Cryzon, has said the same thing, but I don't care about Cryzon at this point. The thing is, these criticisms were basically the same, and I saw that there were other people who were delivering the same criticisms, which I already had an issue with in content that I watched a year prior before coming to the people in the commentary community. The community that consisted of I'm Alex, Wild Spartan, Sinnoh, blah 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 blah. I made an entire video ranting about that last year. Go watch it if you want my thoughts on it. However, my point is that people really don't bring much new to the table with these criticisms. Most of the time. And if they do, sometimes it's really petty stuff or outdated stuff. Heck, a few weeks ago when I was working on my first draft of Turkey Tom, the video that I, tossed to the side in order to go over the Twitter stuff, I actually got onto him in my original video for him actually speaking almost verbatim what Daft Pina said a few times in his videos. Now, chalked up to possibly being Daft Pina having a hand in reading over the script, but shame on you for not catching that, Daft. Drink some coffee, you need it. But that leads me into my final point about criticism, that the animation community can't take it. I have no idea where people are getting that from. Almost every video that I see, if you go into the comments section of the video that talks about the animation community, you'll find these animators actually commenting about it. And while they may disagree with some criticisms, at the very least they're showing that they are willing to discuss their criticisms. Do some members of the community not know how to take criticism? Yeah, I think that's pretty much safe to say. We've seen this a few times. But that's a given, and it happens in every community. You'll get people who aren't willing to listen to criticism, write it off as trolling, or people not being true fans. We saw this in the gaming community, and in fact last year with Angry Joe, who blew up at his fans in his comic section. We saw this in the commentary community with Wild Spartans who decided to rip off iDubbbz's content cop in response to Cabos giving him criticism. Some people can take criticism, other people can't. No one is obligated to actually listen to said criticism about their work. No one is obligated to publicly acknowledge if they saw the video. And everyone is allowed to disagree or agree with the criticism. Like I said, yes, some people in the community can't take criticism, but to take that and project that over the entirety of the community is disingenuous. Also, as a side note, has anyone noticed that a handful of people who have criticized the animation Storytime channels have avatar similarities? Turkey Tom, LS Mark, Cryzon, red clothing, brown hair, white complexion. What the hell? See, this is what happens when you actually give me a chance to ramble into a microphone for about 10 minutes. There is one more thing I do want to say, and I want to provide another specific example. There's actually a few people who will complain about there not being animation in their Storytime animation videos. This I can actually see being a little bit of a valid complaint because you've got a video from this guy. So basically this animation is just basically turning a page in a book, having a hand slide across the pages as a picture appears underneath it, and then it gets colored in. And it's obviously stilted, not actually drawing the pictures. That's not animation! There, I've completely contradicted myself. I think we've made a successful video here. So let's wrap this up. In all honesty, this community, from what I've seen, isn't bad, and trust me, I've had my fair share of dealing with communities in the past that have a lot of drama, especially dealing with scandals, like in the case of the Toon Critic drama that happened earlier this year. This community doesn't seem to be the worst. Honestly, I'm glad the creators are flourishing, and heck, I've tried my hand at doing a Storytime illustrated video, and hopefully to do more in the future. There's a lot of talent and untapped potential in this community, and while I do have my complaints about it and the criticisms that they receive, I honestly wish nothing for the best of them in the future. But hey, that's just one guy's opinion on the internet, and now it's your guys' turn. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. It can be about me, it can be about my own opinions on the matter, it can even be about the drawing I'm talking about, since that seems to be a trend whenever I do these rant videos. Do you agree? Disagree? On another note, we finally hit 30k subscribers on this channel, and to be honest, when this year started, I was hoping to at least be at 20k. So this has been an amazing last few months on the channel, and if you're still around at this time, I just want to take a few moments to say thank you so much for your guys' support. Even if you're just a subscriber, that alone makes me smile and wants me to work harder for you guys in the future. But with all that said, I'm MangaKamen. Remember to examine your fandom.